this is a baby. You're messing with a baby's feelings. I still have mixed feelings. Like, even after seeing the movie and like seeing the ending, I'm really questioning that specific relationship that Shinji set him up with. I'm just like, bro, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I gotta quit. I know it's the second day, but
yeah, no, I feel like that mostly falls on the mom, Mia's mom, because
she's wild.
I just feel like the relationship between Phillip and Mia was really cute, and I enjoyed it for the most part, but I was also just waiting for her to get her little heart broken. And I see that he got attached to her as well, and he's not supposed to.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Most Potato Podcast. My name is Alvin.
I'm Jess.
And today we're going to be talking about Brendan Fraser's big-ass comeback to the theaters. It's not The Mummy. Well, that's coming, but it's not The Mummy 4.
You're so ignorant. Oh, my God.
What, don't you know he's a big star in Japan? He does toothpaste commercials, other weird commercials. We're talking about Rental Family, guys. You never heard this movie? Good, go watch this right now. Fuck this review. Oh. Go watch this movie.
Well, let's come back for the review.
And then you can come back for the review.
Yes. Or stay.
This movie's refreshing because it's not like the typical things that we go after, like big sci-fi movies or big blockbuster movies or horror movies. It is a feel-good movie, and I feel like we need to get like an overstimulation of good feel-good movies in theaters. I need that like just overdosing in my bloodstreams because things are not good right now, like in the world at all. So I need more movies like this. This was a really sweet movie. I had a good time with it. I think you loved it more than I did. I don't think I feel as strongly about this movie as you.
I feel like it's not, I don't want to say it's not your genre, but I feel like it's not really your...
It's not what I typically go for, but I am always open to movies about just character studies. If you guys haven't seen this movie, I think you should just go in with as little like knowledge as possible. Just watch like one trailer, and I think you get the sense of what this movie is. Yeah. Because this movie really does explore a very particular piece of culture in Japan where people use a service where they hire fake families, fake girlfriends, boyfriends, basically any sort of relationships that you would normally develop on your own. These people can't seem to generate that naturally on their own. So they go to like this business called Rental Family, where they literally hire like someone to be like their dad or a spouse. And it's funny because the Takehiro's character, Shinji, he basically explains like, yeah, you know, you bring up therapy, but therapy has like a very negative connotation and a stigma here in Japan. So this is an alternative. And I'm just like pretending to do like relationships so that you could like cast an image of yourself to your other people in your life. I feel like that could get messy extremely fast.
I mean, it did, as we saw throughout the movie.
Yes, it does get quite messy in this movie. And I like that it tries to keep it light. It doesn't try to like overindulge and be like so like pessimistic and bleak. It touches on dark subject matters without overindulging and taking it too far.
I think by using Brendan Fraser's character Phillip, those are the questions that come up because he's hesitant about this once he takes the job.
Yeah, this thing is new to him.
It's very new to him. He's very hesitant about whether what they're doing is right. He brought up therapy. Why not just do therapy? And that's explained away. I feel like to him it just seems wrong. It's like it's a lie, which it is technically. There are certain situations that they set up throughout the movie where this is exactly what somebody needed for whatever freedom they needed for their future. Some situations weren't so good. Like one of the characters that works there, I think it was Aiko. She's literally pretending to be someone's like mistress, which puts her in harm's way physically. And I felt really bad for her. And that's like another situation. But I feel like there's just situations where it can be good for people. But then I think Phillip, he's worried about, well, doesn't this hurt other people? Doesn't it hurt the person who's hiring us to lie to friends or family about the situation? But he quickly sees that from the first situation he is where he pretends to be someone's husband, he sees that he did in fact help someone. And
that one was like an interesting opener for this movie.
Yeah.
I like how they introduced the concept of this job by setting up Brendan Fraser's character with a lesbian woman who's trying to get out of basically the clutches of her parents.
I didn't even realize that was the situation at the start. I don't know if
really?
Yeah, I didn't. I just thought that she wanted to say that she was marrying someone so she can like leave home and go to a different country.
Yeah.
But then slowly I realized I was just like, oh shoot, I'm just like, she has a partner, she's a lesbian, and that's so crazy that she had to jump through all these hoops so she can be. And I think everything was signed too, so they were they technically married?
Yes, they were actually legally married.
Okay, yeah, so they were legally married by the end of this, and once he realized that maybe her parents aren't open to it, society, whatever, and this is what she had to do. And yes, it's sad for her, but this is a choice that she's willing to make, is to like leave home and leave her family so she could be free and happy. So
she's going to Canada. It's the happiest place ever. She's fine.
She's fine. Yeah, I like that moment after the wedding, and Philip is just sitting there with the woman, and they're waiting for her partner to come up, and then you see them kiss, and he sees how happy they are. And I was just like, this is why you do it, man. This is why. That was where he seemed to be invested in the job and wanting to take it serious, because he had his doubts. He almost messed up the whole thing.
I know. He tried to bail at the last minute. It's like, I'm not doing this fake wedding.
Yes.
That was crazy.
And I don't know. Like, first of all, I was just like, oh, is he really not going to show up? It's not going to be that big of a deal. But
Aiko had to chase him down.
Yeah, Aiko had to chase him down. At first, I thought they were just being extra. Like, I was just like, it's not that big of a deal, because I didn't know it was at stake in the moment. And then the longer it took for them to find him, I started to get like this anxiety. I was just like, no, he's not really going to bail. I feel like I'm like, this woman really needs this. And once we realized at the end of that whole entire like scene, I was just like, oh my God, if he didn't go through with this, I would have just hated his character so bad.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where he's coming from. Like, this is like a total culture shock. Even though he's been living in Japan for, I think it was like 7 or 10 years. I can't remember what he said. He's been there a while. I don't think he ever encountered this sort of thing, which is interesting, because he is sleeping with a sex worker. Like, he goes to, I guess, the hotels or whatever, and they're pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and
exactly.
Once you realize like what he's doing and what she's doing, they're pretty much the same thing. So you would think he'd be a little bit on board with it.
Yeah, because he's not just having sex with this woman. He's talking about his day with this woman like it's like his wife.
She even says that. She's just like, oh, we're helping people. Like, once he tells her about what he's been doing, she's just like, we're helping people, you know. And I was just like, that's exactly what they're doing. They're doing the exact same thing. I'm just surprised it took him a while to like catch on to like.
Well, the thing for me is like prostitution, at least it's like a consistent thing. Whereas with the rental family business, it's way more like ever changing. Like, you don't know what kind of relationship you're going to get set up in, what scenario you're going to be set up in.
That's true.
And some scenarios are more complicated than others, because when they get to the part where Philip is set up with having to be like a deadbeat, like runaway white father to this girl named Mia, that's where I was just like, okay, I think we're getting into unethical territory here, because what do you mean you're supposed to pretend to be someone's long-lost father, and then you're only doing this just so that you could get this girl set to this, like, nice, fancy prep school, and then you have to dip.
Out. Yes.
I'm just like, hold on, what are we doing right now? I was on board with, like, freeing the lesbian woman to Canada. I was like, I get that. Yeah. It's very hard to deal with conservative parents and a conservative culture, but she's also a grown adult woman. She knows what she wants. This is a baby. You're messing with a baby's feelings. I still have mixed feelings, like, even after seeing the movie and like seeing the ending, and I like the movie, but I'm just like, I'm really questioning that specific relationship that Shinji set him up with. I'm just like, bro, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I gotta quit. I know it's the second day, but
yeah, no, I feel like that mostly falls on the mom, Mia's mom, because
she's wild. Jesus Christ.
I just feel like the relationship between Philip and Mia was really cute. And I enjoyed it for the most part, but I was also just waiting for her to get her little heart broken. And I see that he got attached to her as well, and he's not supposed to. They're not supposed to get attached to these people in any way. You're supposed to go and do a job, pretend to be whatever they need you to be, and then dip out. But I'm just like, I would love to have known, like, what are the rules for this agency, this rental family agency where you can just go in and pretend to be a kid's parent. I'm like, that's like damaging. Yes, the mom is giving consent for you to do that, but I feel like there's a line that's been crossed, because she may think she's helping her daughter by getting her into this school for her future, but she's also hurting her. I don't know if that ever crossed her mind. I don't feel like it crossed this character's mind.
It was in the back of her mind. She's like,
she's ignoring
I need
it.
to get this woman. I need to get her into like super fancy middle school.
And yeah, like that'll be enough. Like, she'll forgive me one day. And I'm just like, this is where parents go wrong. Y'all need to stop. I felt like if she would have told me like, hey, we're going to pretend that this guy is your dad, and it's perfect because he's a white man, so he don't even belong here. So he's going to come and he's going to go on this interview and get you into the school, and then he's going to dip and we'll be good.
Yeah.
But no, she really said, this is your daddy. This is your long lost pappy. Like, I'm just like, what?
Already, she's already dealing with the trauma of not having a father.
Yes.
And then you're faking this relationship with someone that she is not related to at all.
Then you're willing for her to get hurt again when he's supposed to dip and abandon her all over again. And then you're supposed to just be there to pick up a piece. That is like, you are lying to her. And why would you want to carry this lie with you?
Yeah.
I just
this is the part that as much as I enjoyed this portion of the movie, I was also just like fighting it. I'm just like, I needed to see what was so damn special about this school. Like, how much of your life and well-being depends on this girl going to this school that you have to fake this father figure because you need both parents in order to admit this child.
Yeah.
I wish I got more of that to be like, okay, I'm still not on board, but I can understand.
I think it's just that general trope of like, you know, I want my kid to get into like the best school no matter what. And
yeah, I'm going into this again. We're both ignorant of Japanese culture, so there might be something that we're missing. But
yeah, no, I think it could definitely be a cultural thing. But then there's also like, I've seen a lot of movies where it's just like people have to fake, lie, do this, have interviews, pretend that they do this. It's no different than your college application, especially.
I mean, people do it in the U.S.
Yeah, and get into Ivy League where you do all these other activities where you say you do these things and you fluff in everything. But she paid for a whole white man to come in. Like, it's wild to me. And it wasn't just for the day of. If it was just for the day of, then maybe I could understand.
I could give some leeway, but this was like over the course of like weeks.
Yeah, where he formed a relationship with the little girl. Like, they taking her to the aquarium, the festivals, all this stuff that
and it was charming. We bought into it.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I was crying. I was like, this is going to work. I know it will. The fact that it was over a course of a week and they were able to build a relationship, you could see him because when he first went to the classroom and it was like, bring your parents stay there or whatever, or the father. And then one of her classmates who she seems to be friends with didn't have their parent there. So
yeah.
I was tearing up there. Ignore me. She went over and she was just like, hey, can you be his dad for a day because his dad wasn't able to come or his dad can't come or whatever. And I was just like, not only is she like fatherless, she's a sweet fatherless girl who's gonna get hurt even more
because she can relate.
And I was just like, oh my gosh. I was like, this he felt it. Philip felt it.
You could see him falling in love with this girl and be like, damn, that's my kid.
So she made her little art project and then he took it home to his apartment and he hung it up. And then there's different scenes where every time they would hang out together, she'd make something for him and he'd hang it up in his apartment. Yeah. He didn't have to do that.
Like, that's not part of work,
That's
buddy.
not part. Yes. And you could feel like he was having a connection. So like, that's why I was like, I knew this is not gonna end well. This is bad. I don't agree with it. But it was just like seeing her get what she needed, which was the father figure she probably always wanted, and him also having a connection because he doesn't have any kids. I don't think he didn't sound like he had the best relationship with his dad or whatever. But this is a relationship that he is seeing like, wow, this is nice. Like, I wish I had this and I can pretend that I have this. That's not his job. He's not supposed to feel that way. He's just supposed to go in and go out and live his life. But his life is lonely too. Yeah. His life is very lonely. And I already can see from the beginning, he didn't want to hurt this little girl. Because he also was just like, the mom to do this, I'm like, I just want to.
The mom is foul as fuck. I just, because by the end of it, I'm still just like, nah, I'm questioning this.
And she was upset about them forming a relationship because they exchanged numbers.
That's specifically what she was upset about, is exchanging the phone numbers. I'm just like, you should have set that establishment from the get. Why? How did that rule not come to your mind?
But you let your daughter hang out with this man alone.
Yeah.
How did you not think the exchanging of phone numbers for someone who's supposed to be her father? Like, what if he's, no, I can't give you my number.
You need to have a script for that. It's
yeah.
Like, no, thanks.
No. Like, how would, or maybe they could have had like a burner phone or whatever, or something like that. I don't know. And then eventually he just never answers and it's disconnected line. But you didn't put any of that into play, and you let her hang out with him for so many days, weeks, or whatever, up until the point of the interview at the school, and they formed an attachment.
Yeah.
That like it didn't sit well with me at all. Like, she was in the background, like, and I was just like annoyed with the mom. Even when Mia found out that Phillip wasn't her dad, and the way she found out, she saw one of his like old commercials or something like that.
Yeah, just recognize his face.
Yeah, and her friend's like, "Ain't that your daddy?" And she looks into it more, and she finds out, and it's just like, I can't even imagine what that would feel like. I don't even.
That's why I wish they sat with that a little more. I wish that they kind of made it easy, showing the difference between Mia getting really angry and giving her mom the silent treatment. Mm-hmm. And then we follow like the Phillip and Kikuo story later on. And then we bounce back to a scene with Mia and her mom forgiving each other, basically, or Mia forgiving her mom.
Yeah.
I know that some time had passed, but I'm like, in terms of like movie time, for me, it just felt jarring where there was like, there was no transition into that. It just jumped into Mia forgiving her mom. And like, no, I wanted to explore more of like, how does a child come to terms with that? How does the mom approach that conversation and try to make it better? It just sort of like resolved. And that was like for the sake of time, because then we have a whole other story.
But I also feel that was intentional, where I feel like Mia, for the most part, she's matured a little bit faster, like emotionally, for her to forgive her mom. I don't think it was just like written in the script that, okay, hey, she forgives her mom. It's just like they've been alone together for probably all her life, you know, and I guess she is mature enough to understand why her mom did it, even though it is hurtful to her. She sees what her mom's trying to do, and it's still wrong. Like, I mean, like, I want to say she should never forgive her ever, but I feel like a relationship. Yeah, no, I feel like a relationship like that, that's not how those things work, you know? And I just feel like she's mature enough to see what her mom's doing, as hurtful as it is to her. And her mom knows that this is wrong. Yeah. But I think Mia can see that she's doing it for her. And I feel like that's something they would obviously have to work on. And I think that's just something we're supposed to take away from that hopefully the mom can do better. The mom sees that she's done wrong. She
better not do any fuck shit like that again, because
movie album. Yeah, but that's what I got from it. It sucks that Mia has to forgive her. Mia has to be mature enough and have enough of an understanding, because I feel like this does kind of take away from her being a kid. I feel like this definitely takes, like, if this situation was real, and who knows, maybe it has been real, we don't know, but that takes away from a child to have to grow up fast, and
that's gonna mess with a child's just ability to trust and form regular relationships.
I'm like, this is a pretty big lie, and I felt like she could have just let her in on what was going on. I feel like that would have been the course of action to do, is to let her know what's going on and why they're doing it. But I felt like you just mess with this girl emotionally, and I just don't see how a parent could do that. But I feel like no parent's perfect. So yeah, sometimes they fuck up real big. Like, this is like a pretty big fuck up emotionally. But yeah, it's really hard for us, I feel like, to forgive the mom or feel like we didn't sit with that. But I feel like that's where that comes from, because like you said, we don't get enough time with Mia. We don't know what the relationship is like with her mom before Phillip comes in, and we don't really know much else. The focus is Mia getting into good school, and that's it. That's all we get, but we don't know what these characters are really like. And from what I saw in that scene, I felt like that's just Mia having to be a little bit mature and have that understanding.
I thought that the Phillip and Mia reunion after all the events took place with the other story with Kikuo, I thought that it was like a nice like resolution. I felt like it was maybe a little bit too easy. But I think at that point, because she'd already forgiven her mom, I think it makes sense why she would easily forgive Phillip as well. Yeah. I just thought it was funny because, like, seeing a grown ass man and a child like in the middle of the street, I'm just like, That looks weird. I know it's a movie, but I just can't help that it just looks a little...
It's a giant white man, too.
Yes. I don't know. How did you feel about the reunion scene?
I liked it. I was actually glad for it, I would say. I was pretty emotional about it. I was a little surprised that it even happened. I thought everybody would just kind of like...
go off.
Yeah, it was kind of just like a lesson learned for everybody.
That's what I thought too, yeah.
But I think I was glad for it because they really did form a bond. Maybe she'll see him as a father figure, or maybe he will just really just be a friend. And I just feel like it would be good for both of them to really like learn from that. But
they need to see each other for Thanksgiving. That's what needs to happen.
But also get something out of it, because it felt like you said it was very abrupt, and then we went into a whole bunch of other like character stories after Mia found out. So it's just like, well, what happens with that? Especially because like there's some stuff that happens and then there's a change to the rental family like agency and what they do by the end of the film. So I just felt like this is good. I feel like we can still get something out of this and it still can be a positive experience. And I also feel like for Mia, I'm just thinking like as like the character, it would suck to know that you were abandoned by your real father and then you were technically had to be abandoned by a fake father that you did have a relationship with. I just think like that's just something that the character needed, both characters needed. I
don't feel the same as you. I mean, I think that ultimately it was good for the characters, but I think my realistic brain keeps activating. I'm just like, this was just too fucking messy and too traumatizing and too hurtful. This could have ended really badly.
Yeah.
And I think this is like the nice movie ending for something like this. Because I feel like trying to do something in like that in real life, I highly doubt it would end positively. So Phillip and the Kikuo situation. How did you feel about that one?
Oh my gosh. That was stressful, but it was also just really sweet and wholesome. I liked the character of Kikuo so much. It was just really sad to see him like he's kind of prisoned in his home because he has to be taken care of. He has to be watched because he's forgetful. He can't remember anything. His daughter hired Phillip to pretend to be like a journalist to write about him because he was an actor.
Yeah.
So he comes and he does that. They have like a bit of a bond that grows as well, and I'm like, Phillip, you're doing your job wrong. But I feel like how could you not grow I'm like
that's my problem with the damn rental family business. How do you expect them to not be human when you're doing the most human thing?
Yeah, it's so crazy to me, but it's sad because you see Kikuo like basically deteriorating. Like he's really, I don't know if like Phillip never came along, if he would have had more time, but like what is that really when he can't even really remember where he is or who he is sometimes. He wanted to run away to his home, basically, I guess where he grew up or where he was from originally in Japan. You know, Phillip wanted to take him there, but Kikuo's daughter's like, yeah, no, that's not happening. I like that Phillip made the decision to help jailbreak him and take him back to his old hometown, but I was also just like, this is bad because they're gonna worry that maybe he did get out and he got hurt or he was kidnapped, which they did accuse Phillip of kidnapping him. But I like that they went back to Kikuo's old hometown because he had memories there, and I was really emotional when he dug up the little box of like his old photos and letters or whatever was in there. I guess it was of his sweetheart or whatever. And he was really emotional. And he's like, you know, before he can't remember anything, he at least wants to see her face again. I don't know. I just felt like this was just such like a weight off my shoulder and just like a relief. I was like tearing up and crying too because I was like, that is so sad because like he's losing his memory. He's not sure where he is, but when he comes to, he remembers like these small things and he just doesn't want to like go out without seeing like this loved one's face again. And it was really just emotional, and I was glad that Phillip was able to do that because it just seemed like his daughter wasn't listening to him, understandably so. I feel like she wants to make sure he's safe and take care of him, but she probably also has her own life. Phillip was exactly what Kikuo needed to get to this point to like be at peace. It was just really dangerous because where they went to, it was just like
there's a bunch of walking and climbing up hills. I'm just like, this man needs to be in a harness. He's so frail and old.
Yeah, I mean, he was going though, but I was really worried he was going to get hurt and die out there. He does collapse.
I could actually justify this fake relationship. This is more justifiable than lying to a whole child. You're lying to a whole child. You're fucking up her whole future right there of like trusting men and just trusting people in general. Whereas here, you're helping this old man to die in peace. And again, it is very sketchy because, yes, you're going against someone's wishes of keeping them safe and locked up in the bedroom. But also, I feel like the daughter should really be listening to her father and just fulfill his wish. He's not going to be here for long. Dementia is killing him. You know this. He's not going to be here for very long. You should make the trek to his old stomping grounds. Because when he talks about that stuff, he talks about it when he's lucid. Like, yes, like he has a dementia moments, but even when he's lucid, he says that he wants to go back to his home village just one last time so that he could just remember everything before he fully can't remember anything anymore. So that's where I feel like I can give like some wiggle room of like, all right, I'm behind this heist plan of stealing this old man. And he wasn't senile or dementia during the activity of like sneaking out. He was a consenting adult. He was sane. He was lucid.
Okay.
So if he was having a dementia episode, then sure, I'd be like, you know what? This is completely, no, I can't get behind that.
Yeah.
But I'll give wiggle room for this one. I'm more behind this plan as opposed to lying to a child about a fake father to get into a school. Okay. I feel like for me, that's way more immoral because you're over here just making a shaky foundation for a kid's future. On the other end, you're just helping an old man die the way that he wants to die. I mean, he died the way that nobody expected. Because he got fatigued from like the walk.
Yeah.
So, but he died getting what he wanted. That is ultimately what I think was like very important to him. I think it was better than him dying quietly in that bed, locked up, not doing what he really wanted to do before he went. So I got behind that premise more. And I feel like, at least with this relationship, Philip got a little bit more out of this relationship where he feels like he can be more honest with himself about, you know, why he's by himself. They talk about, you know, his father a little bit. And he also, like, by the end of the movie, he goes to the prayer monument that they went to earlier in the movie. And, you know, because Philip has a question of like, well, what do you see there when you go to pray? And Kikuo just tells him, why don't you go look and find out?
Yeah.
And then he just sees his own reflection. And, you know, he had a conversation about also like with me about how, you know, he didn't have a good relationship with his father and he kind of like ran away because he didn't go to his father's funeral. So doing this specific relationship with Kikuo is kind of making up for that lost time of running away from his father. I wish we got more details on his upbringing because I feel like I would have got more emotionally invested with the Philip character. But I know you don't always need to have all those blanks filled in either, because I think Brendan Fraser does a good job acting the role and there's enough like written for me to care about the character. But I really wish I got a bit more of a sense of like, what is it that drove him to come here by himself and isolate himself from his family in America. I think at least this relationship with Kikuo like fills in that blank a little bit, and I think it was my favorite portion of this. I really liked him and Mia, but I think this felt like the main meat of the movie, which I didn't expect because like based on the trailers it looked like it was mainly about
the little girl and him.
Yeah. So I liked it for the most part, but again I'm questioning this fucking business. This is so just it's so messy. It's so like emotionally and just like morally just muddy.
And they have like a whole like storage area like archiving all their past like clients and everything. It was a lot though. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're not the only agency that does
there's
this.
other ones.
So it's just like, have these all turned out well? Did they all end well? And it's just like the white man came in and ruined everything like recently. But I thought it was really funny that Aiko and Koda, they basically quit, if anything, from the agency, and they're just like, this is really messed up, like we gotta help him. And Shinji's just like, yeah, no, he's on his own, like why would he do this? This wasn't part of the plan. So they quit, and then they dressed up and they were pretending to be like some detectives or officers so they could speak with Kikuo.
Yes.
And get like a statement that Philip didn't kidnap him. Shinji shows up too, pretending to be like a lawyer or something like that. And it's like, okay, he finally came around so he could try to help Philip. I just thought that was like really cool that the agency was having like this big arc where it was changing because of Philip, but also because of the relationship that they had that came to be with them and Philip as well. You see scenes with Philip and Aiko. She's the one that's doing like the apology jobs, where she's basically getting slapped by angry wives because she's playing a mistress. And I'm just like, how long have you been doing this job, girl? Like, That's like...
That's the one thing that bugged me is I wish that there was more time with the Aiko character. Like, I appreciate that this movie was like less than 2 hours, but if you're going to fill up time with another interesting character with her own problems and arc, you should have added like maybe another 30 minutes to fit in Aiko's arc, because she seemed like an interesting enough character where they're just like, I feel like you should be doing more with her, especially since she was initially antagonistic with Philip
at the beginning,
and then they start coming around to like bonding a little bit, but we don't get enough screen time together.
Yeah.
And I wish we explored her job specifically, because the apology jobs, they're really dangerous. Like, she genuinely is always getting like cuts and bruises on her face, and Philip makes comments on that. It's just like, are you sure you should be doing something like that?
Yeah.
And he opens up and says, if you ever want to talk about it, just let me know.
Yeah, which I don't think she's ever had that from Shinji or even Koda, probably.
Yeah.
It's just like it's part of the job. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I wonder how long she's been doing this, and how they just like, it's just whatever. Like, this is your job. It comes with the job. That's it. It's not okay. I guess this is the side of, you hire someone or you take on the job for someone to help them with, say, a same-sex marriage, or, a fatherless kid getting to school, or a old guy who's probably going to die soon, and he has dementia, like, just spending time with him. Those seem like, I mean, aside from Mia's stuff, but those seem like the kind of easier jobs, or like the less, like, complicated ones, too, less dangerous. But you also have to remember, someone could hire them to play their mistress, or something that's like actually not good or wholesome, like we saw throughout most of the movie. Yeah. And I feel like Aiko's side, like her story and what her part of her job was showing like the dark side of like, someone who's like pretty much an asshole could hire us too, and if it's not too like...
And I wanted to explore that more. Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. There wasn't enough time.
I feel like that was just there to like hover in the background to maybe remind us of like the bad side of this sort of job. I mean, we're seeing the wholesomeness with a character like Philip, and how that's changing him and changing his coworkers, his boss, and the people that he is coming into contact with. But then we have to remember, like, there's also this side to it as well. And within the agency, the side of Shinji not really... It doesn't seem like he's there for his, No,
they're just colleagues. That's it.
So it's just like she started growing a relationship with Philip as well, too. Like you said, it wasn't like right away, and it was very slow. But by the end, when Philip gets arrested, she's like one of the first ones to like speak up and step up and quit, basically. Because she's probably been feeling some type of way for a really long time. She's not okay with her face being slapped and cut. Like, who would be, for a job where it's just like, that's just a job. Yeah.
And then Shinji was interesting. I mean, I saw this coming a mile away.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a bad thing. I just felt like I think it was clear to me, because I feel like we're focusing on characters that don't have family members and friends. So I knew from the jump, Shinji, the owner of the business, he don't got his own family, because we see scenes every once in a while where it just intercuts with him at a house. It's his house, and there's like a wife and kid. And the first time they showed that, I'm just like, guarantee you that is a fake family that he hired from another agency. So then when they revealed that, I was just like, there it is. I knew it.
Yeah, I didn't catch on. I really didn't. I think it was when they showed him at his house coming home, because the first time they showed it is normal, and I was like, man, how could this man come home to his family after all this trauma he done caused on the daily?
That's exactly why I suspected this is not... someone with a family is not going to go into a field of selling relationships, and I think what Aiko said was like opportunities, because Philip initially says, you're selling lies. And I think she goes along the lines of saying, no, we sell opportunities for people. So somebody with a family, someone that has like a relationship at stake, I don't think would ever go into a field like this. At least I'm talking about like in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know about in the real world, in real Japan, because I know that's a real business that goes on there. But in terms of this narrative, I'm just like, ain't no way this dude has a family and is over here forming fake families and friendships and relationships for a living.
Maybe he grew up without that relationship, and now he has, and he wants to just share it with everybody and give people that.
No, that's not what I thought.
Yeah, no, I
think it only made sense
from that.
Yeah,
I didn't pick up on it at all until the second part, where I don't know, things seemed a little stiff. He seemed like really agitated, and the wife came to like give him a massage and stuff like that, and then the way he tensed up, and I was just like, why
nope,
he
too hard.
Yeah, and then he's like, take it from the top, let's, and I was just like, wait, what? I was like, oh, I think in that moment it set in, and then the next line came, and then he said it, and I was just like, what? I was like, that's sad. I'm sad for you, Shinji. I'm sad. That's sad,
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. And again, we don't spend that much time with this character either, which I wish we did. But he was interesting enough. And I figured that he did have a fake family. If he's going to be in the business like this, I can only imagine that he's someone that also feels isolated and for some reason can't form like his own relationships like with a family. And I thought that by the end of the movie, I wasn't sure how much this agency had changed because we only get like maybe 3 examples of what kind of businesses they sell. So I know that they do a wide array of other relationships, and the only good thing that I saw is like they stopped doing the apology jobs.
Yeah.
Because that just Aiko over here just taking it for the team, just constantly getting slapped up, and I don't think she's getting compensated extra for damages. Like she ain't getting no hazard pay for the slappings.
I know, because I'm like, that job like that could easily turn really bad. What if
that
the
could
wife
kill you?
Flips out and like?
What if this woman has a gun?
Yeah,
and just like deranged. Like that was crazy. So. I like that they basically said that they're going to do a more positive change, but I also had a hard time being like, well, I still think like this business in general can easily cause problems and messiness, so I don't know how much of a change this agency has by the end of the movie. I don't know, how did you feel by the end of it? Did you feel like that this agency drastically changed, or was it more of the same?
It was more of the same. The only thing that they changed was, Aiko's apology jobs, like you said, but I'm like, they would really have to sit, like, I don't know, at least Philip would have to sit down and be like, so this is what I experienced, with my relationship with Mia, with my relationship with Kikuo. Those were like major things for him, and I just feel like maybe they take a step back on anything that involves like children's, like especially children's emotional state.
Yeah. Just keep it strictly adult.
Yeah.
I think that's a
which
start.
Which is weird because, like, I don't know if the mother and son actors that Shinji hired was from his own agency or from a different one. So it's just like, it's weird because I'm like, stay away from doing anything that involves like children and their emotional state, but also like you can hire like a whole family and that includes like kids, like, so it's just it's still really messy, and I feel like for their agency they would just have to be they would have to have rules, like set rules and say like, we don't do that. Yeah. Like we can. Would that hurt their business? Probably. But also, I mean, if they out there getting 5-star ratings for whatever else, then maybe it'll work out for them in the end. Yeah. But I just felt like by the end, they were kind of stepping in the right direction to change. We just don't see that right off the bat.
I don't know. Overall, I just think this business is too messy. I personally would never try. I mean,
Would you hire them for this, or would you want to work?
I would not want to do either one. I feel like I'd be the type of person to get too attached real quick. I'd be thinking, yeah, no, that's my best friend. Like, I'm sorry, like Takashi, that's my best friend. We going to go play soccer after school. I'm not a 33-year-old man. I'm 21. I just started college. That is my best friend. Okay. I'll get too emotionally invested if I was working, and if I was receiving it, I just wouldn't buy into it because I know what I did. I bought a fake best friend. I'm just like, it's not working. But I don't know. I'm not someone that's like so isolated. I feel like that's the appeal, is like they're going for people that don't have relationships. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know what that's like. And I know that that's a reality in Japan. And I think it makes sense that a business like that exists because just like in the US, Japan has a lot of overworked people. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of like isolation. And I think here in the US, there's difficulty with that, but like in a different way, where we're just not comfortable reaching out to people. Yeah. Like, that's just like not the culture. I don't know. Would you accept that service or sell yourself as like a sister or a mom, a fake friend?
I don't think I'd be able to work it because I'm very forgetful.
It's like, oh wait, that's the script.
They'll be like, Brenda. And I'm just like,
who's Brenda? Oh, that's me.
Yes, mommy. Like, yeah, no, I feel like that would be a really hard job for me to get my lines down and remember information, because they gave Philip a pack and there's like, you need to remember all these things and know these things. Yeah. So yeah, I just be shit at that. Hiring, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like I've heard people say that if you like go to a place like Japan, the best thing to do is actually hire someone like this. Like not only like a family member, or just like you could literally, I think like you can like buy like grandpas or something like that, like old people.
I think I heard about that.
Hang out with them, or it doesn't even have to be old people, but it's just like some people are like, this is the best thing to do because they're like locals. So like you can hire them for the day and they can take you around as opposed to like going to like some agency and getting a tour guide and like paying a lot of money for them. You just hire someone to like be your friend for the day or something, and they'll know all the spots to take you to because they're from there.
That
so
is interesting.
I feel like for that, then I probably would.
Yeah.
You know, just because I'm cheaping out and I don't want to pay for a tour guide. But yeah, for like anything else, like I'd have to be like in Japan and lonely for like really lonely for me to ever consider that. I feel like, I don't know, like you don't know until like you're in that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
If you aren't able to make friends, and sometimes like the people you work with, they're not the best friends or whatever, and sometimes you can't make friends with people at work, so you literally go to work and then you come home and that's it.
That's your only socializing.
That's the only socializing that you have. And what if you're not in a good work environment? And you know, what if it just stops there as soon as you step out the door?
Yeah.
So like I can see, like you said, how like this is a thing. Would I, if I needed a tour guide? Yeah, I'd hire a rental family.
This is why capitalism sucks, people.
Yes.
All right, what would you rate this movie?
Oh wow, I forgot we do that. I don't know. I think I'm going to give it a loaded potato. I really enjoyed it. I just thought it was really wholesome, and it was just something different to sit down and watch than what I feel like we've been watching lately. And I feel like I really needed that, and I think it was very well done.
This was a good time for me, too. I would rate this a strong baked potato.
I'm going to punch you.
I knew you were going to say that. I didn't like it as much as you, but I did enjoy it, and it was a breath of fresh air for me, and also a nice change of pace in terms of like the genre and what kind of message and story this movie had to tell. And yeah, visually just gorgeous. Acting all around was fantastic. There wasn't a single weak performance that I could pick out.
Yeah.
And it left me with all these thoughts and questions that we got to discuss here. And that's the best thing that a movie can do, is leaving you with thoughts and ideas and questions and just thinking about the movie overall. The worst thing it could do is bore you and then you forget about it as soon as you leave. And that was not the case for this movie.
No, I definitely want to rewatch this. I mean, because I'm broke and cheap, I'll wait for streaming, but I would definitely rewatch this again, and I definitely recommend it. I want rental family too, you know?
Two rental, two family. Let's go.
I hate when you say everything like that.
So you guys should definitely check this movie out if it's still playing in your theaters. If not, it's going to end up in streaming at some point, probably on Amazon or something. Yeah, those are all our thoughts on Rental Family. Let us know if you've watched this movie, and let us know all your thoughts in the comments section, please. Make sure you give us a like if you liked us yapping about this movie. And if you really liked us, give us a sub, and we'll keep yapping about what you like to yap about. Yes, and make sure to share this with your friends. If you don't have friends, share this with your fake rental friend or your fake rental family, and with your, you know, your senile old grandfather or son. I don't know. Japanese people be living a long time, so they might have a son that's like really ancient. So, and with that, we will see you guys on the next one. Peace.